Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be bringing you a brand new penny stock. The company name is Entheon Biomedical. They're involved in the psychedelic wellness space. So we've talked about a couple of these type of companies on the channel, but this one's got a little bit of a twist in the sense that they're really focused on DMT and the benefits of DMT to addiction and substance abuse. Now, before we get into it today here, you guys, please take a second, hit the like button. It's a huge help to both myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you've heard of this company before, if you're holding shares, and how you think they stack up to some of the other competitors in this space. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be continuing on our psychedelic wellness trend here. I'm going to be bringing you a new company. This one's a little bit different than some of the others we've talked about on the channel in the sense that they're a pure play company focused on DMT treatments. So we're going to talk about what DMT is, why it's potentially more beneficial and easier to administer than some of the other compounds or molecules we've talked about on the channel with some of the other companies like Field Trip Health or Red Light Holland, for example. But before we get into it here, I did want to bring up the chart. So Entheon Biomedical Corp trades under the ticker symbol ENTBF on the OTC in the United States. You can see here as of close on Thursday, November 4th, they're up 2.5% on the day to close out at 42 cents US on the OTC. Now market cap on these ones on a fully diluted basis, they've got about 52 million shares. So they're in the $22-23 million market cap type of range. Very small company compared to some of the others we've talked about on this channel. And what's interesting here, you guys, is you can actually see up until the 26th of October, so very recently, they were trading in the 20-cent range, and they've seen a massive jump, doubled their share price in the last couple of days here, based on some big news that we're going to be covering towards the end of this video. So I thought it was very timely. They're starting to make some major moves. They're on the path to revenue through some acquisitions they've made into psychedelic clinics, along with specialized test kits, again, that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. So super cool opportunity here, you guys. And I think a stock that's really flown under the radar for quite some time, and it's now really beginning to get some traction. Now, I did want to quickly mention Entheon Biomedical also trades on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker symbol ENBI. So if you're located here in Canada and you'd like to invest, you have that opportunity as well. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Entheon, I'm going to give a quick high-level summary of what it is the company does. Then we're going to jump into their investor presentation, talk about some recent news articles, and some exciting news in relation to their inclusion in the world's first psychedelic ETF. So stay tuned here, you guys. Lots to cover in the video. First up, Entheon will utilize proprietary science, research, and methodology to ensure addiction and mental health challenges no longer seem like an impossible, unending road. So the focus of this company, I've watched a few of the interviews from the CEO, Timothy Ko. There's some great stuff available on YouTube. He really drives home the point that this company was founded to help patients and people struggling with addiction that currently have very few options with very low recovery rates. Entheon's goal is to ensure that when you or your loved one goes into recovery, you fully expect it will work, redefining the expectations of addiction treatment. So really trying to provide hope for people that are struggling with substance abuse or addiction. The mission statement at this company, Entheon is powered by an unwavering commitment to significantly improve the odds of beating addiction for people who otherwise might not. And if you scroll down on this page, you can see the leadership team here. Timothy Ko, CEO. Again, great content online, you guys, if you're looking for a breakdown of this company and to get a better understanding of his vision for the organization moving forward. Now, as many of you know who've watched this channel for some time, I really like focusing on companies that are trying to solve a problem. Obviously, addiction is a massive problem in our world, especially in light of all the stress and angst the pandemic has put onto people and their families. So as it is right now, there's currently 35 million people suffering from drug dependency on a global scale. there's 166,000 overdose-related fatalities each and every year, and the projected global cost of mental disorders, which include addiction, by 2030 is estimated to be $16 trillion here, you guys. So in terms of TAM, or total addressable market, this is definitely one of the biggest ones we've talked about on the entire channel. And as we've discussed previously in relation to other companies on the channel, long-established substance use disorder treatments manage to help only a low percentage of sufferers to overcome or suppress their addictions. And that's what's prompting companies like Entheon to look for new and innovative ways to address the underlying neurological and emotional causes for the actual addiction itself. And the way they do that is through DMT treatment. And that's exactly what they discuss in this slide here. So they're coining it a new dimension in addiction treatment. Entheon is pioneering a leading-edge addiction recovery solution that harnesses and optimizes the therapeutic potential of DMT, or the DMT molecule. And what's interesting here is this is actually a compound that's formed naturally in the human body. It synthesizes very quick, you guys. It has an extremely quick onset, and the psychedelic or hallucinogenic experience lasts a fraction of the time of some of the other substances like psilocybin that we've talked about on the channel. Entheon exists to invert the recovery ratio, turning the untreatable case and lost cause from the norm to the exception. So you can imagine the potential and the appetite for this for people or families who have loved ones that are struggling with substance abuse. It really is a game changer here, and I think this industry is really ripe for the picking in terms of new treatments for long-running or long-standing issues. So now that we've discussed what it is Entheon's trying to solve and why they're trying to solve that, we're going to start shifting gears into the how. So Entheon is developing a DMT-assisted therapeutic protocol that will be specifically tailored to address the core mechanisms underlying drug-seeking and using behavior. So their plan is to administer small doses of DMT through an IV or intravenously under the supervision of a physician, and then really try and get into the patient's neurological system and rewire the pathways in their brain to eliminate or reduce the root cause of the addiction that's forcing these people to go back time and time again to these substances. Now, as you can imagine, there are a lot of scientific and regulatory hurdles in front of a company like this, so Entheon has begun the formal process of beginning clinical trials with DMT with a contract research organization. They're actually doing this in Israel. They've filed provisional patents in connection with DMT therapy as an addiction treatment and will be pursuing full FDA, Health Canada, and EMA regulatory approval. Now, the next question to come to mind is, okay, DMT seems promising. What exactly is it, and what's unique about this substance or molecule compared to others that companies are trying to test in this space? So a couple highlights here, you guys. DMT is very well tolerated by the human body. It has very few adverse effects. Pure DMT is the ideal molecule for advancing and sustaining new models of psychedelic-assisted therapy. It has a robust and well-demonstrated capacity to affect neural activity and promote brain plasticity. And that's what gives Entheon the capacity to reorientate their patients to a healthier version of themselves in the past, and the ability to remedy the underlying neurological and emotional mechanisms of addiction. So rather than just surface level treatment, you guys, they're actually rewiring the way these patients' brains or neural systems work. And that's what gives those long lasting and positive outcomes for their patients. Now, using this powerful DMT molecule, Entheon will lead patients through an assisted therapeutic experience, which allows patients to erase problematic neural pathways which fuel addiction and mental illness, and in the same process, facilitate the creation of new pathways in the patient's brain to really assist this recovery. And Timothy Coe, in his interviews, really talks about the fact that although this company is seeking regulatory approval for the actual DMT treatment itself, the whole process leading up to the DMT treatment and afterwards is crucially important for these patients. So although that specific piece or component of the treatment is really what scientists and regulators are focused on, it really is a holistic process from start to finish to ensure these patients are taken care of every step of the way. So now that we understand what DMT is, this is a great slide to understand why DMT is so effective. So DMT is unique among other hallucinogens in the sense that it's endogenous within the human body or naturally occurring, comes from within the human body, and has been clinically validated for safe human consumption. And although some of these treatments and use cases are relatively new, there's actually a long-standing history on DMT research, well above the doses or levels that Entheon is looking to administer. Now, while other psychedelics like psilocybin, for example, can have effects that last up to 12 hours, DMT is rapidly metabolized by the human body, meaning the duration of the experience can be much shorter, even down to 15 minutes, and can be easily adjusted by the physician. And that allows for a shorter, more focused, or intense therapeutic window. So some of the benefits here: it's been used therapeutically for hundreds of years in the form of ayahuasca. It's been scientifically studied for the last 70 years. It's present throughout the plant kingdom, so again, it's naturally occurring. It's safe in humans, and it's short-acting, which allows for more control during these treatments. Now, in addition to their proprietary DMT treatments, there's a ton of other stuff going on here at Entheon, so I did want to spend a couple of minutes talking about some of the other aspects of their intelligence platform. So you can see the first line here, the core concentration really is about that DMT therapeutic potential. Next section here, you guys, this is super interesting. They've also got a genetic testing subsidiary called Halogen Life Sciences, which actually conducts genetic testing to determine the risk probability of different psychedelic molecules for a given patient before the treatment takes place. So I thought this was really cool. We've seen genetic testing really hit mainstream society with 23andMe and some of these mail-in genetic testing kits, but they're really taking this to the next step here, you guys, and identifying what's going to work for patients in advance. Now, using this patient and clinical trial data, Entheon is developing a predictive biomarker response platform in partnership with a company by the name of Divergence Neurotech, using this Divergence Neurotech's proprietary neural platform in tandem with EEG monitoring. And as a result, Entheon's Biomarker platform, which is powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning, will be able to better prescribe suitable psychedelic treatments for patients. It'll provide real-time feedback during a psychedelic event and help inform the development of a post-therapy system for patient-specific support. And that's what Timothy was talking about in the holistic treatment sense, that they're really looking to help the patient before the treatment takes place, during the treatment itself, and then post-treatment or after the actual psychedelic experience has occurred. Now, we just mentioned Entheon's subsidiary, Halogen Life Sciences. So this article came out February 24th of 2021. So it definitely is a little bit older, but this really gives some information about this genetic test kit that they're looking to launch into the market here. So in the third paragraph, you can see, in tandem with its research and development partner, Lobo Genetics, Halogen has successfully developed a turnkey operation to build, order, ship, process, and deliver its psychedelic genetic tests. And this technology from Halogen includes a platform that has 5 different pre-screening assessments, which include things like mental health, family history, and lifestyle risk factors. So by combining both genetic biomarkers with the test itself and personalized data points, family history, stuff like that, Halogen's pre-screening platform can help individuals that are considering psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy to gain key insights into safer and more personalized psychedelic therapies. So super exciting here, you guys. I know whenever people start talking about psychedelic therapy, there is a segment of the population who's a little bit scared off by this. And I think these pre-screens or these test kits are really a great way to ensure that patients feel comfortable and they go into these procedures understanding that their bodies are capable of handling this and that initial testing or screening has already been completed on their behalf. So with that being said, fast forward here to October 27th, you guys, so very recent. If you remember, we saw that massive share price jump on the 27th of October. This is the article that prompted that. So Entheon Biomedical provides corporate update on studies and clinical trials. So this was huge news, what the market's been waiting for here. And there's a couple of points that are actually covered in this press release. So in terms of the observational study update, Entheon is pleased to announce that its observational study assessing the neurophysiological effects of ketamine is progressing as planned. So in addition to DMT, Entheon is also experimenting with the benefits of other substances like ketamine. Approval of this study was received on October 22nd from the Internal Board of Review, and site initiation has been completed with patient recruitment to begin shortly. So this study is going to really push forward Entheon's biomarker program, and again start to characterize various drug states and help with that EEG or genetic screening to investigate biomarkers associated in this case with ketamine treatment for depressive disorder. Now another cool point on that, they've actually signed an agreement with a company called WavePaths that's going to develop adaptive music that's going to be used during these ketamine therapy sessions. So again, a holistic solution here, you guys, really looking for ways to make those patients feel comfortable and maximize the experience while they're with the physician. Now in terms of an update on their preclinical trials, Entheon has now shipped DMT drug material to its partner in Israel. So this is actually where the preclinical research is being conducted. This is going to be used, number one, for a toxicity study and eventually the goal to treat alcohol use disorder. Results of these studies are expected to be available by the end of this fiscal year, so Q4 of 2021. And the final point here is in regards to their clinical trial update. Entheon's clinical study protocol has now been endorsed by the Scientific Advice Board for submission to the Medical Ethics Committee. The company, or Entheon, expects that phase 1 human trials are now going to begin in Q1 of 2022, while site initiation and initial screening is actually planned for January, so just a couple months out from now. So obviously a lot of moving pieces here that Entheon needs to get in place before they can bring these treatments to the general public, but it's great to see things are progressing so nicely and they haven't hit any major roadblocks at this point in time. Now the last piece of news I wanted to bring up here, you guys, this is from January of this year, was actually the fact that Entheon Biomedical has been selected to be included in North America's first psychedelic ETF, which trades under the ticker symbol PSYCH or PYSK on the NEO exchange. Now there are some big hitters in here. MindMed's one that's probably familiar to most of you. This is great for a number of reasons, primarily because it brings more eyes and more attention to what Entheon Biomedical is doing and really helps to increase or grow the number of people that are aware of this company and potentially looking to invest. So as a prospective shareholder in Entheon, this is great news, you guys. It gets them onto the main stage and it really gets their name in the same discussion or same group as some of these well-established larger companies in the psychedelic wellness space. Now that's it for today's video, you guys. As mentioned, we've covered a number of these type of companies on the channel before that are involved in the psychedelic wellness space. I personally feel like Entheon Biomedical has really done a good job of differentiating themselves both in the substance that they're focused on with DMT and the treatment cycle itself. And for those reasons, I think this one definitely belongs on your watch list. If you're interested in doing some additional research, I'll link the company's website in the description below because there really are a lot of great interviews, press releases, news articles available if you're looking for more information on Entheon Biomedical. Now with that being said, thanks so much for watching today, you guys. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. If you're still watching at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And on a final note, thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.